When I heard that they were there, I stopped trying to teach myself this stuff, and I went there and I said, I need a teacher. Teach me. And Sal, he was a little bit embarrassed because I'm older than he is, and he also thinks I've done more than he. But he taught me the writing, the language, because I needed to know that thing directly so as to be able to go to the sources. You can read a lot around it, but it's a great thing to be able to go into the originals.
My question is this. Many of us who have studied the writings of Chancellor Williams, an African-American scholar, read in one of his chapters that he says that Africans in America are in a very unique position in the African world, and that is that we have lots of material resources, education, healthcare, and other kinds of material resources that put us in a position to do things for the rest of the African world. From your vantage point, being someone who lives in Senegal, what kind of things can people in this country do on a day-to-day, concrete basis, in addition to educating people and that sort of thing, to bridge that gap and to make our resources available and whatever resources on the African continent available to us?
I cannot give a very useful answer because I'm trying to find out. I've been away from this country for 10 years, and before that I was here for a year and a half, and then, before coming I was in East Africa and then South Africa. So I'm ignorant about your resources. But if you could take the lead in the study of ancient Egypt, you see, that would be a great thing. If you could also take the lead in creating institutions where this stuff is studied on a daily basis, that would be great. We need to do that. So far, I don't know if there are institutes of African and Afro-American studies where they have reclaimed Kemet and are actually studying it. I don't know. I know at Berkeley there's an Afro-American Studies department, but they're not teaching this stuff inside that department. That is one big intellectual step that we need to take, because those who divided up Africa to pillage it also decided that Kemet should be studied as part not of Africa but of the Middle East. A first step towards reclaiming our intellectual resource bases would be to say, hey, now look, this is part of Africa. We study it as part of the Department of African Studies or Afro-American Studies or whatever. But you know, if that can be reclaimed, that would be a good, strong step. And then, I don't know what kind of institutions you have. This is the first time I've seen something like WOSE, which uses elements from ancient Egyptian writings and tries to inculcate those values. There should be more of such institutions at all levels, religious, intellectual, even in the games we play. You know, why not?
Yes.
What would you like to accomplish while you're here, and what needs to be done in order to help you accomplish that?
Well, from the time I arrived, people have been extremely nice to me. There's nothing more that I want to demand. You know, this is great for me to meet people and to find out what is happening. I have work to do. I'm prepared to do it at home. where I live. I would hope that people who are doing similar work here, that I can keep in touch with them and that we can together decide on things that need to be done. But myself, I have no demands.
You mentioned that you didn't go any place without your family. I'd like for you to, first of all, give us a little bit more information about how your family is struggling and surviving in America, and also, if you will, give us some idea about what you feel about the weaknesses of the black family in America. And some possible remedies.
Okay. With the last question, our families are weak everywhere, not just here. The type of family that we are being given as a model now, where there's one father, one mother, and they've got their little children, and they're responsible for the development of those children, and to hell with the others. Well, that seems to me to be the problem. Some people say, well, we should strengthen the family. I say we should examine the family and see if that's the best way to create a future. From what I understand of the family, it's a marvelous instrument if you have stolen some property and you want to hand it down. Because the family will enable you to hand down your advantages to your children. It is a legal instrument for handing down the amount of money you have so that a child can grow up with millions in the bank, never having done a piece of work, and that's through the family. I think when the family acts like that, it is against Maat. It's against justice and balance. See, I think the family also enables educated fathers and mothers to put their children on stilts, so that when they go to school, they're this tall, and the others are ordinary human beings. And then the kids come home, and they're first in the class, and the parents say, well, now, isn't he brilliant? No, he isn't brilliant. He has advantages that the others don't have, you see. It's a question of immersion. Now, I think it is necessary to create immersion for all children. The way we give balls to children to play basketball and they become fantastic players, if we gave intellectual balls to them to play with. So, as far as I'm concerned, the best place for doing that may not be the home, where there's a father and a mother. It could be a different institution, wider, where the community is present. And if there are men and women who feel a vocation to be with children and to educate them, they'd be doing it constantly, you see. Now, there was a time when there were African communities like that. The advantage is that old people have a natural job to do. They don't get discarded. They are in contact with the kids. They tell them stories. They educate them and so forth. Now, these are communal activities. I'm not a very strong believer in the virtues of the nuclear family. But if we are talking of a family that includes all the community, I'm there.
All right. I actually see that we're working out of two heads. in America